All right, guys, welcome to the show. It was a wild round one of the NFL draft. Got the full recap here with Fantasy Football Impact. Going to break it down. Going to show you who the picks were in the first round and talk about the fantasy implications. Laying it out here for you. Big episode. Today we've got round two in the evening. Going to be going live with Jimmy during that. And there's going to be a ton of running backs hopefully coming up, including to see where Trey Benson's going to land. Really curious to see where him, Blake Corum, and others are going to land. Very interesting round today, round two and on, moving on. But I want to recap round one. There were some surprises, especially with Atlanta and the Kirk Cousins situation. Going to break that down. We got Brian Thomas Jr. to the Jags. We're going to talk about that fantasy impact. Rome Odunze to the Bears, and on and on. So I want to break it down here for you and talk about the fantasy football impact regarding that. If you're new to the channel, I just checked the analytics. 70% of people that watch this have not actually hit subscribe. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Smash lion mentality, guys. When I say lion, I want to see the lion roar. There it is. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Really helps the channel. And comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the draft. What was the outcome? Give me some fantasy implications yourself. Your thoughts. Are you staying away from some of these players based on what's happened? Let's dive into it, okay? So what I'm going to do, guys, again, I'm going to pull up the draft right here so you guys can see who was taken from a visual perspective, and we're going to talk about it. Also, if you haven't gotten 16 rounds, guys, get 16 rounds. You can pre-order it right now. 2 more days for the special. That's it. You get 25% off. Guys, use code DRAFT to save. Sleepers, breakouts, optimal players, drafting, you draft everything you need to smash your leagues, guys. 16 rounds is the game changer. You'll be light years. I mean, light years ahead of the competition. Grab 16 rounds, and upon checkout, make sure you add the Sports Summit, a chance for us to hang out with actual NFL athletes, including Kyron Williams, Trey Benson, Pat Freiermuth, and more. I'm giving a PS5 as well for the summit, and I'm revealing the 5 secrets I've never revealed on how to win fantasy football, all at the summit, guys. It's going to be huge. Going to be huge, all right? Get your tickets below. You can combo them together below 16 rounds, all right? So let's dive into this, the draft, guys. And it was a wild one. Some of this stuff was kind of to be expected, so let's talk about it. Some of it was a little bit kind of, wow, can't believe that happened. So Caleb Williams to the Bears. I'm going to tell you right now, initial glance, still kind of early. I want to see how everything else kind of fizzles out. I'm staying away from all Bears players. Caleb needs time to develop. I'm not into rookie quarterbacks. He could shine. He's got the weapons to shine. They've actually also added, as you can see here, a top wide receiver prospect in Rome Odunze. So you got to look at this as like, okay, we've got a wide receiver by committee. It's very, very gross. I'm completely turned off of this. I will have zero stock from Keenan Allen, who's washed up on his way out, DJ Moore, who's supposed to be the one, and now Rome Odunze, who's, any other team Rome would have been on, he'd be the clear-cut one, but now he's in a committee where there's 2 other supposed wide receiver ones. Rome is the one based on talent, youth, opportunity, upside. He's the one, but they still got the other guys from a political standpoint. They're like, oh, it's a pecking order. Allen's got to be fed, blah, blah, blah. No, it's disgusting, man. I'm staying away. This is gross, disgusted. They're wasting Rome's value. It actually ticks me off. So much talent here with Rome, but they had to get him at 9. I mean, why would you even do that? You've got 2 viable wide receiver ones, right? If Allen is one, like everybody says, Keenan Allen's one, why would you even draft Rome? Oh, because he's old and he's good for 1 year. I told you to stay away from last year. He didn't finish your fantasy season. I don't like Keenan Allen at all. I don't like DJ Moore. I don't like the situation. It's disgusting for fantasy. I'm not drafting him, okay? Now, there's a chance that Keenan Allen gets hurt. Rome becomes the one. Very possible, right? But still not an appealing situation at first glance. Jaden Daniels to the Commanders. Obviously, this is good. He's going to be fantasy relevant right off the bat. How good is he going to be? We don't know. I'm staying away from all Commanders players as well. Obviously, there's some opportunity there with Terry McLaurin taking a step up. He gets a boost, but still, rookie quarterback, not the best team, not excited, okay? Drake May of the Patriots. I think the only person that gets a boost here is Demario Douglas, but again, he's going to be a sleeper. Drake May, not really fantasy relevant for me. Patriots, question marks. Now, Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals. I talked about this. This is very important. We have this discussion here, guys, with Marvin Harrison and the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison, the top rookie wide receiver prospect out of this draft, going to Kyler Murray, who has not finished. I want to emphasize this, guys. I want to have a discussion about this. Kyler Murray has not finished the past 3 seasons. And I asked myself, and I talked about this in my other video and when we were live yesterday, Tim and I looked at this. I went back, and the big question is, can he make Marvin Harrison fantasy relevant? And the simple answer is yes. But the problem is he hasn't made a wide receiver extremely fantasy relevant since 2020. He did that with DeAndre Hopkins, who finished top 4 in PPR amongst wide receivers, did DeAndre Hopkins with Kyler Murray in 2020. But since then, he's absolutely done nothing. So I have some serious question marks when it comes to Kyler Murray really feeding Marvin Harrison. Now, if I can get Marvin Harrison round 6, 7, 8, that's great. The problem is, yes, he's a wide receiver 1 high on the depth chart, great talent. But the problem is I got to pay a second round pick. That being said, I still think that there's upside here. Kyler Murray is now removed from his injuries. He's ready to go. Could have an immense bounce back, but I do have some question marks in regards more or less to Kyler Murray than I do Marvin Harrison Jr., okay? Now, let's go to this Chargers pick here. Joe Alt. This is a bit of a shocker here. Not so much with me because I know Quentin Johnson has the potential. He just hasn't get the volume. And I know what you're going to say. Quentin Johnson sucks. I know he sucked last year. I get it. But he never got the volume. He was a first-round pick. So it's like the Chargers are thinking, we drafted a first-round pick last year. We just never used them. So they got Quentin Johnson. They got Josh Palmer. They got Guyton. They got a couple other options. But the problem is they don't really have a good offense. I don't like what's going on with the wide receiver core because, again, Quentin Johnson does have his question marks. I definitely don't like what's going on with the running back situation because I don't trust J.K. Dobbins. I don't like Gus Bus in regards to being a main guy. It's a bit of a disaster. They got Spiller there. Like, it's a disaster at running back, and now it's kind of weird at wide receiver. So you go and draft an O-line guy, an offensive tackle, an offensive lineman, and it's like, okay, well, you don't really have an offense. So that's the biggest problem I'm having here with the Chargers with this pick. It's like, okay, let's protect, Justin Herbert, but, do we trust Quentin Johnson? I guess they have a lot more faith in Quentin Johnson. Now, there's going to be other wide receivers down the line they might pick up, and they definitely need a running back. It's a disaster. I don't like the way that it's set up with the Chargers. It's just weird. Maybe they're rebuilding for the next year. Who knows? Okay. Malik Neighbors to the Giants. This is weird. The Giants have not had a wide receiver since, I don't even know, Odell was good. A good one anyway. So Malik Neighbors is there. Could it be a waste of talent? Absolutely, because I'm not really sold on Daniel Jones. They passed up on quarterbacks here. They could have got Penix. They could have got McCarthy, as you can see, come off later. Malik Neighbors, man, I don't know, man. I got to see what his ADP is, but he's going to be interesting. Daniel Jones has got to step up. When they paid Daniel Jones, I'm like, dude, what are you guys doing? What a waste of money. Anyway, here we are, Malik Neighbors. And what's sad is, like I said, we got Malik Neighbors to the Giants. We got Rome Odunze, which we're going to get to in a second, to the Bears. I don't know. Could be waste of talent. We'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting. I do like this Titans offensive line pick here because I'm a Levis believer as a sleeper, as a guy that's going to step up. But this J.C. Latham pick here, offensive O-line guy to the Titans out of Alabama, this is good. This is good for Levis. This is good for Tajay Spears. This is good for all the receivers, Calvin Ridley, everybody there. This is good. Protect Levis. If you believe in him, protect them the best you can. Get one of the top offensive linemen out of this draft, J.C. Latham. It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be good. Will Levis could be a big sleeper. Now, here's the shocker here. This is just mind-blowing here. Now, Michael Penix to the Falcons, okay? From what I heard, guys, this is crazy. Michael Penix to the Falcons. Absolutely crazy. From what I hear, Kirk Cousins had no idea about this. Zero. They didn't even let him know. They didn't even hint the fact that they were going to be drafting a wide receiver. Now, there's all these jokes that he's a left-handed quarterback, similar to Mike Vick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, at the end of the day, man, it's like they still need a quarterback that's going to be their franchise guy. Kirk is not that guy, but they paid him so much, and he's still got a couple good years left in him. They could have waited on quarterback, but it seems like they're proactive in regards to drafting Michael Penix and kind of building him under Kirk Cousins. But again, the weird thing is like, okay, well, you have other things to address. But another thing is like they really took him and really sniped teams like Minnesota who really needed one. Now, I would assume Minnesota was thinking that maybe Penix would fall. Clearly he didn't, so they ended up with JJ McCarthy, which is brutal. So when you look at this, guys, it's like, okay, this kind of happens in fantasy drafts as well. You don't expect a team to take a guy because they weren't projected to take a guy, but Atlanta now takes them to cover for Kirk Cousins. Maybe Kirk Cousins is hurt and they're not telling us something, but this is really wild because Michael Penix should not have come off here. And then now Minnesota's like, okay, now we have to take JJ McCarthy. They take JJ McCarthy. And that is also going to be a buzzkill for Justin Jefferson. Now, I'm not high on Justin Jefferson. I think he's completely overrated. He got hurt last year, way too expensive in fantasy. And now he's got J.J. McCarthy potentially throwing him the ball. Dude, I am out 150,000% on Justin Jefferson. And even if Jefferson gets force-fed and does well, I'm still not paying a first-round pick for a guy who's getting the ball thrown from a rookie quarterback, just getting in, who wasn't even a top rookie prospect compared to other guys like the other quarterbacks that came above him, right? The Drake Mays of this draft, okay? So there's some question marks here with the Vikings. There's question marks with Justin Jefferson. Falcons still look good. Cousins still should run that ship. Drake London, this is really good. They didn't go wide receiver, so Drake London gets a nice boost there. Love it. I like the Penix picks in regards to it didn't affect London, didn't affect Pitts, it didn't affect Bijan. And Jimmy on the show was saying, oh, well, they might grab Rome. I'm like, no, don't grab Rome. We don't want to mess up Drake London's value. Drake London's still untouched here. Amazing. And when you look at a guy like Michael Penix now, it's like, okay, he's going to be building under Cousins. Rome Odunze, I told you, I don't like him to the Bears. Ruins the value of all three wide receivers. Don't like this pick. It's a bit of a waste. I'm going to be staying away and dodging this, okay? Fashanu, offensive O-line guy, New York Jets. I like this. This is great. Garrett Wilson gets a boost. Breece Hall gets a boost. I love this pick. Jets, smart move. Protect Aaron Rodgers, who clearly needs protection because we want him to finish at more than one game or more than one play for that matter. I love this pick. I love the Jets boosting up that offensive line. This is great for everybody on the offense involved, including Breece Hall, who now I think becomes the bona fide running back one out of this draft. I mean, he is the man. Love it. Bo Nix to the Broncos. This is really interesting. It's so weird because they got Stidham, they got Zach Wilson, who they acquired, and Bo Nix. I don't know, man. I think Bo may start here. It's weird, man. The Broncos need help. I'm not really convinced that Bo's going to come in and save everybody, but they don't have a wide receiver. I'm not even sold on Sutton, okay? Brock Bowers to the Raiders. This is very, very interesting. I didn't expect this at all. And it's weird. The Jets passed up on him, which, again, I see why they did because they've got the weapons. They're solid. But when you look at a guy like Bowers, he's now there with Michael Mayer and Adams, and they don't have a quarterback, Aiden McConnell. Like, who's the quarterback there? Like, it's weird. Like, I was really kind of looking at Brock Bowers saying, oh, man, there's some upside here, but now I'm completely turned off. Don't like it. We got some offensive players, some edge, some defensive players coming off here. You know, Colts go Lateo. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Lateo Latu. He's an edge. Seattle goes Byron Murphy, defensive tackle. Dallas Turner, edge for Vikings. Bengals go offensive tackle. Rams go edge. Steelers go offensive tackle. That's nice. Steelers improving that O-line. Miami Dolphins go edge. A bunch of cornerbacks here. Eagles go Quinion Mitchell. And then this is interesting. Brian Thomas Jr. goes to the Jags and becomes immediately the wide receiver one. They got Kirk, but they never believed in Kirk. That's why they brought in Ridley. Then they got rid of Ridley, and they're like, we got to get a wide receiver immediately because Kirk is not the solution. They got Gabe Davis, who's a compliment guy. Another kind of three-headed weird situation monster. But if I was taking anybody on the Jags in a bounce-back year with Trevor Lawrence, I'm liking this pick. Brian Thomas Jr., absolutely love it, okay? Keep that in mind. And then you got Xavier Worthy. This is another thing. Like, why do the Bills trade down and shoot themselves here in the foot? Like, this is crazy. Like, Xavier Worthy, dude, I mean, he's a speedster. He could be exciting. That's the thing. He broke the record for the fastest time. But again, people are kind of like, oh, well, John Ross did that or whatever. You know, all these people did in the past, but they didn't amount to anything. But now he's got Pat Mahomes throwing to him. They got Rashee Rice. I saw a funny meme. It's like 4.21 for Xavier Worthy, and they kind of went over all their speeds, and they put Rashee Rice 119 miles an hour. It's like they got a lot of speed now, man. I mean, this is going to be wild. The Chiefs are looking to a three-peat, and now they've got the deep threat in Xavier Worthy, who's going to completely blow the top off the defenses in the secondary. It's going to be wild, man, because you got Kelsey underneath, you got Pacheco going to pound the ball, you've got these guys that like over the top. It's going to be wild with him and Brown and Rice, if Rice even plays for that matter. It might be suspended for a couple of games. But this is wild. But the Bills need a wide receiver. Is Khalil Shakir the real deal? Is there something that we don't know? What are the Bills thinking? I mean, you want to lose to the Chiefs on purpose? This is wild, man. I can't believe the Bills are doing this. But yeah, there you have it, man. Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs. And to wrap this up, a couple more wide receivers. 49ers go Ricky Purcell. Ricky to the wide receiver out of Florida, going to the 49ers. Very interesting as Ayuk or Debo maybe shipped off. I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to see definitely something going on with 49ers shipping a wide receiver off. Ricky's going to be in there as a wide receiver 1-2. And Xavier Legette, wide receiver Panthers. This is interesting here because they brought in Deontay Johnson. Now they got Xavier in there, another wide receiver out of South Carolina. It's going to be very, very interesting. That kind of brings down Deontay Johnson's value as well. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, like I said, the Bears are a mess to me. I don't like it. I do like Drake London a lot more. I do like Quentin Johnson a lot more. I think a lot of people are going to be sleeping on him, but I think he's going to get more value than people think. Brock Bowers to Raiders, don't really like it. Brian Thomas Jr., Jacksonville, absolutely like it. Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs, like it, but I don't think he's going to get as much volume as people think. Ricky Purcell, 49ers, actually like it. I think he's going to be very viable there as well. And Marvin Harrison, a lot of question marks around Kyler Murray still, and I think he's going to be expensive in drafts. Let me know what you guys think here. Drop a comment, smash it, tap it, slap it. I'm going to lay out where to draft these guys and who to draft, all the optimal players in 16 rounds. Grab it below. Use code DRAFT to save. For 2 more days, you get that special. Linked it below here, guys. And let's go. Fantasy football in full force. Can't wait to watch day 2 of this NFL draft. All right? Let me know what you guys think. Well, it's crazy. It's wild. Fantasy football is back. Moves are happening. Depth charts are forming. It's going to be wild. Subscribe, thumbs up. I'm out.